Hey, welcome to Guitar Knobs, the guitars, gear, noise, and nonsense podcast, hosted today by these knobs.
Tony Dudzik, Pick Guardian.
Jared Brandon Wound Pickups.
Hey, everybody, this is me, Todd Novak, from the Guitar Knobs podcast. Welcome. We are glad that you are listening to our show. We love doing this show, even when we have some technical things, but we plugged through it and we made it out to the other side and it feels good. Tony, what do we do on the show? I'm running out of breath.
We like to talk to builders of gear, of boutique gear, of guitars, of amps, of pedals, of pickups, of pick guards, of
All the things. Yes. Jared,
Accessories.
what is your favorite thing that we do? One of your favorite things.
Oh, 101
Yeah.
podcast. We get to learn about stuff.
101 episodes are very high on the list. And tonight we've got somebody else that's very high on our list. Who are you, sir?
Hey, I'm Ariel from a boutique pedal company called Red Noise Pedals.
Hey.
And you're calling from?
I'm calling from Atlanta, which is in Georgia.
Yes.
Sir.
Just a wee bit down. My folks live in Georgia, not in Atlanta, though.
Georgia.
Yeah.
Where at?
Greensboro.
I have no idea what that is.
Few do.
It's a suburb of Atlanta.
Yeah. It's actually really close to...
Everything's a suburb of
yeah.
Atlanta.
I know.
The whole world.
Yeah. It's really
Even
close
Paris.
to Greer amps, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyhow, gentlemen, this is going to be super fun. People out in the ether, out in the, listening in their headphones, people in the headphones, you need to go check out Red Noise Pedals on Instagram as soon as you possibly can to get a gist of what we are talking about.
Unless you're driving.
We have posted a couple things on our personal Instagram, so if you can't find that for whatever, but ours, go ahead and check it out. And while you're there, do us a favor and just hit follow for Pete's sakes. Just do it. It doesn't hurt. Our stuff gets jammed right in you.
Yeah, and it doesn't cost you a penny.
Yeah. So anyways, hey, people, we've got a great show. We're going to talk to Ariel, and just so that we all out there get your exact pronunciation of your exact name. Can you give that to us one time?
All right. So in Hebrew, you'd say Ariel. But I guess here in the US, you'd say Ariel. Much
Okay.
like the mermaid.
Yeah. Are you a mermaid?
We weren't going to say anything.
I'm a merman.
That's right, a merman. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, well, that's okay. Tony looks like the octopus lady and mermaid. Anyways, all right. Are you okay with us calling you Ariel for the show?
Yeah. You can call me however you want.
Okay.
You can even invent a name.
All right. We are going to get to this. So many things that we're going to have fun talking. And we're going to start that with just a couple shout outs real quick. We need to give a big fat thank you to Rode Microphones for providing the Rodecaster Pro, our beautiful mothership that captures all of our sultry sounds.
right.
And the Procaster mic, which
Yes.
delivers those sultry sounds to the Rodecaster Pro.
Yes. You know what I like?
Yes, the cords that come out the back.
No, I like
Oh.
the articulating arms.
Yep, those two. Those are pretty good, and I'm not going to lie. So one of the other things that we want to give a big old fat shout out to is our friends over at Barefoot Buttons. Yes, Barefoot Buttons. They've got a brand new addition to their lineup. These are colored acrylic buttons. Clear meaning... they're not totally clear. They're in red,
semi-transparent,
and green and blue. They're transparent.
What about the
Colors.
glow in the darks?
I already did those last
You did
week.
the
man.
oh, okay.
It's one at a
Was
time.
I here?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh.
Disregard
Tony, you're
what I
getting
said.
old. All right. So hey, check these things out. Now, make no mistake. These buttons are not made of cheapo plastic, are they, Tony?
No, they appear to be some sort of silicone.
Heck no, they're not made out of silicone. Put those away. We're talking about mine.
I bet yours are made out of
Jeez
silicone
Louise.
too.
These are made out of these are CNC'd out of precision
This is acrylic.
What?
They look like pencil
Yeah,
sharpeners.
made from a solid colored acrylic bar.
Wow.
Yep, it's not like melted pellets or anything like that.
And it's got like 3 screws on it too.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
they're super lightweight. And you know what's the other cool thing about these transparent style ones? I have a white. It's not like a clear plastic. It's like a white plastic.
Right.
And what's cool is on the button. The reason I'm using this one is because the LED is so close to the actual foot pedal that a regular one kind of blocks the LED, and like, so I don't know if it's switching. It's a 2-stage. It's the Keeley Caverns. So I use it on the delay side, so it doesn't kind of like block out the light.
What's your point?
What's cool is that light shines through the actual button.
Oh,
Yeah,
so you can see it.
almost. It's like it lights it up.
Like
it's really cool.
like it pulsates.
Yeah, it's white, but when I click it on, it turns like blue. Ooh. Yeah. So check that out, Barefoot. You bet you didn't even know that. You can get these at barefootbuttons.com. And you know what? They have free shipping over $15 in the U.S. You buy a couple of things, you don't have to pay for shipping. Easy peasy.
Free is better than wholesale.
Yes, sir. So anyways, check out Barefoot Buttons, music for your soul. And you know what? Some of the nicest people out in the business, for real. Really great folks out there. So thank you, Barefoot Buttons. And go out and get some of this. By the way, we're going to be giving these away. We're going to give away.
That was going to be my next question.
Yeah,
Are you reading my mind?
Each time we do one of these, we're going to give them away. So we're going to give away these acrylic ones. There's 3 of each. And
Nice.
and then we've got a bunch more to do over the
my
next couple
goodness.
weeks. We're excited about this. Good folks out there. All right.
Yes.
And I wanted to just share this other thing here. This is a really interesting email that I got. So this is from Tommy Manasco, and he's one of our new executive producers. So welcome, Tommy.
Tommy.
He sent us a little email here. Says, favorite part of the show besides the main topic would definitely be the Would You Rather section. 4 on the floor is great too, but it's fun to make unreal choices, right? Right. You are right, Tommy. Hey, he says, I listen via Spotify. I've been listening for a month. I'm an automotive technician for a real life job. Having you guys in my headphones lately has been a pleasant change to make the day go by quickly. Thank you, man. That means a lot to us. He says, I decided to support the show after I listened to the Pure Salem episode. Awesome guitars. Shout out to Rick at Pure Salem. He says, I just turned 42, and that episode sparked a fire under me not to work every day and then realize life is over. Think about that. Rick had such a great story. I have even decided and started using my woodworking skills to start a small part-time, for now hopefully, guitar cabinet company. I just made the page on Instagram and gave you a follow. So we're doing that. If you feel like checking it out, go to Ominous Cabs on Instagram. That's really cool. There's another one. That's so exciting when people get a little just like, hey, for whatever reason.
Inspiration.
They're getting some of it. It's usually not from us. It's from the builders. So thank you, people that we are interviewing, like yourself, Ariel.
Well, you're very welcome. I haven't really done anything yet, but
But ahead of time.
Yeah.
All the things.
We're paying it forward.
You are so welcome for everything. For all I am about to bestow upon you. So anyways, thanks, Tommy, for sending that email. We really appreciate it.
Yeah,
We love
that's
to hear
nice.
stories like that.
That's real
And
nice.
we encourage you all who are listening to share yours with us.
Please do.
Yeah, shoot me an email, Todd at theguitarknobs.com, or DM me on Instagram. There you go. Okay, people, we want to know what's going on in our music world this week. Tony.
This week. Oh, yeah, this is cool. So every once in a while, a friend of mine, Joe Bonamassa, sends me an interesting project.
Name drop.
Yeah, name dropper, JB. Yeah. But anyhow, he recently purchased Tommy Bolin's, I think it's a 1960 Burst, has a Bigsby on it.
Holy moly.
And the for those who don't know, Tommy Bolin was in I think it was a band called Zephyr. He was in the James Gang for a while. He was in who else was he in? He was in a bunch of bands, but
A lot of bands.
Yeah, lots of bands, and he was always, a pretty well
He's a
renowned
player guy.
Yeah, he's a studio cat too. So anyhow, he had taken the pickguard on his and painted it with kind of an American flag kind of thing, and he used probably model paint, enamels like when you used to paint model cars and airplanes and stuff. And I mean, over the years, it just is wearing off. And Joe was concerned. He's been playing this on tour, and he was concerned that he was going to start, wear out the guard worse than it is. So he shot me a photo. I'm working with a local company. We're going to try to replicate and do either a thermal print or some sort of a print on an actual pick guard to kind of replicate it so that he can safely take the original guard off and put it somewhere safe and put this one on so it has a similar look. So
Deep Purple.
Deep Purple, that's right.
I knew it was something big.
Yep, yeah, that was
one of those big bands.
One of them big bands. So it's kind of cool, and it's like really the way that the paint is worn off and everything. I might try to do one that is kind of like he had on his guitar when it was originally painted too. So, but in the meantime, Joe wanted to do one with, as it sits, but just one that he doesn't have to worry about.
Very cool. Very cool. Ariel, how about we talk to you right now?
All right.
Yeah, thanks. All right.
I just want to say I have a newborn, and there's not much going as far as guitars for me. And since this is not supposed to be about pedals or what I do for my thing, I thought maybe I'll talk about an awesome radio station in Atlanta.
Cool.
Sure.
That's perfect.
So, in the morning, I take my daughter to the daycare, and I listen to one of the most amazing classical music shows I've heard. It's amazing. I don't know anything they're playing. I never know anything they're playing. I never hear anything twice. And I get deep inspiration and peace out of it.
That's fantastic.
Well, what station is that?
It's called WREK Atlanta, 91.1, I think.
Yeah, we should check and see if we can stream that.
91.1.
Interesting. All
The
right.
best radio station I've ever heard, really. I mean, I know there's a bunch of awesome college radio stations all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
But this one is really good.
That's
We're
outstanding.
going to check it out.
All right. Big Jared.
Yeah, got a couple things cooking in the fire here. Buddy down the street, Retro Guitars, Chris, is building, or has built me a, not really build, but he made me a telly body, and it's got a paisley print on it. And it's not the traditional Fender paisley print that we're used to. It's a little different, but I think it looks really rad. It's cool, and he's about done with it. And I'm trying to figure out what neck, I'm looking on eBay, looking on Reverb, and it's either going to be a crafted in Japan neck or a Mexican made neck, because I really like both of those. I'm not going to pay for an American made neck because a Japan or made in Mexico neck, in my opinion, if built well, is going to be the same. I'm not going to,
Why don't you order one of the all parts nitro finish necks?
I could do that.
Because those are they have a profile that's similar to the MIJ Fender stuff. If you like the
They're
feel
a
of that,
licensed Fender, right?
yeah, they're a licensed Fender now.
Oh, okay, so I could put a logo on it.
I have an idea.
No, you can't put a logo on it.
Well, I think I just
I have an idea.
what?
Thunderbolt Guitars. Get him to make you an aluminum neck.
Oh.
He just made one for a Strat. He's going to be bringing it in November.
Awesome.
It looks pretty rad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just consider it. You don't have to say yes or no. Just, there's a thought.
Yeah, I mean, I've never played an aluminum neck, so
I
I'm
haven't
not
either.
going to jump right into it.
That's
but
why
I
he's gonna-
definitely want to check out
You
his
should jump
neck.
right into it.
You should check it out.
You should jump right into it like a big, meatloaf.
Like a bat out of hell.
So anyway, I'm looking at these crafted in Japan. So no, honestly, I'm not in a big hurry to pick a neck, and as far as the aluminum neck, no, I can't wait to check that out. That's cool too. So yeah, and I also got a new pedal, and I've been looking at getting one of these for a very long, at least over a year and a half. I got a Mutron octavaver or octavizer or whatever the crap you call it. What is it?
Oh, is it like the
octave one?
It's just an octaver.
Octavator.
Yeah.
I am the octavator.
The octavator pedal can make two. It gives you the bass, and you can control how.
Oh, so it's a step down. Or,
It's a mini compared to the original, and I think it works as the original, but it's the mini version, and it's got the aluminum box. It looks like the original, except for it's much smaller.
Okay.
It's more eye appealing.
well, when you play with it, you have to give us a report out because I thought the originals might have been octave up, but
no,
it's octave
I think
down.
it's always octave down.
Okay.
And you can turn I think you can turn your octave completely off and just have bass only.
Oh,
And what I like about it, it's got it's appealing to look at because it looks like a vintage. It's just smaller.
cool.
So I got that. So
Right on.
I bought it
So
right.
it's a newer pedal.
Yeah, I bought it right from Rantronics.
Yeah, there you go.
Nice.
Excellent.
Didn't we have an episode from Utron?
We
Yes, we
sure
did.
I can't remember the number just right now, but it's back there, and
Yeah.
it's great.
Go check it out.
Aren't they all though?
Yeah, it was. Let's see. I think it was maybe last fall. Or,
Yeah, it was in the 90s or 100s range, I guess.
Yeah,
It wasn't too long after the Winter NAMM we went to.
Yeah, that's true.
Todd, how about you?
Well,
What's going on in your
well.
musical world?
I was sitting in my house, and I pulled out one of my acoustic guitars, and I was just kind of playing. And one of my favorite songs in the whole wide world is
Sweet Child of Mine.
"Lucky Man" from the Verve. And
Yeah.
I was just kind of just playing that real loose, and it dawned. So I've got a daughter who plays a violin, a daughter who plays the viola, and a daughter who plays a stand-up bass. The viola daughter also plays a cello. So I got like a whole string section, and I'm like, and so I'm sitting there playing it, and it dawned on me, I'm like, this is one that we could all play together. It's simple enough, and it's great. It's a beautiful song.
Wasn't that originally like Emerson, Lake and Palmer?
Lucky Man?
Yeah. Or am I thinking of a different Lucky
no.
Man?
This is a different one.
Yeah,
This isn't Ooh, What a Lucky Man.
No.
this is off Bittersweet Symphony
Yeah.
album.
Yeah, from
okay.
Urban
So really-
Hymns. It's an outstanding song, and
Yeah.
it's just a yeah. Anyway,
All right.
So yeah, I'm gonna help them out with that, and we're gonna work on it together. And
Maybe they can play Saturday.
I don't think that it's gonna happen that quick.
Are you going to write an arrangement on music
Yeah, I'm gonna help them out with
the
it.
staff and
No, I
All
can't
that
do
stuff.
that, but I can tell them what to do. I'm good at that. All right, woo wee. Hey, look out! 1, 2, 3. 4 on the floor.
So first of all, I'm a bassist, and also I used to play in a band that was only bass and drums. So I sort of played with multiple effects, like maybe 20 effects, and I split the signal, and I did a bunch of weird things. So the first one is the Sola Sound Tone Bender, which is just, in my opinion, the absolute best fuzz ever. I don't know if it's this specific one I've got, or is it something about my bass, or something about, I don't know, something about what happens there hits me very, very well. I guess it depends on a lot of things when it comes to a fuzz. You change the guitar, you change an amp, or you play in a certain way, and it's a different pedal. But this one is somehow a part of me. Speak well with it.
How
So
long
I guess it's a personal thing. I have this. I got it in Israel maybe 20 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not
I used
too
to
many
play in a
people
band.
still have 20-year-old pedals that they've had for 20 years.
Well, people are approaching 40, man.
Yeah.
I know.
Tell us about it.
Yeah. So when I got this, I didn't even know how good it was. It pretty much laid around for 10 years without me even touching it. And then at some point, I suddenly realized that this thing is just the Rolls Royce. So that's the first one.
Awesome.
The second one is a pedal I used a lot with with my bass and drums band, which is the Electro-Harmonix bass microsynth.
I don't know that.
You guys know about aluminum necks, and you don't know the bass microsynthesizer by Electro-Harmonix?
Yeah,
That's a good point.
yeah, true.
So tell us about it. Tell us about it so that we are informed.
Tell us everything, every little
All right.
detail.
I'll enlighten you with the light of I guess this is a pedal that splits the octave to 3. Sub-octave, just your clean guitar, an octave above, and then a distortion on top of that.
Wow.
And you can control the resonance, and you can there's sort of I mean, first of all, you can just use this even as a sort of a fuzz. And it has 2 knobs called start frequency and stop frequency. If you start low and stop high, it will go like boom and go up, and vice versa. And if they're at the exact same place, you can actually set a frequency that is being emphasized by the whole thing. So I use this for just and there's an attack delay option, and I don't know, it's just an overall really amazing and interesting pedal, which I used a lot. Like, it was one that I would use every second song with my band.
Wow.
So I really love it.
And you sure it's not a keyboard synthesizer on it?
No.
Okay.
It's called, there's a micro synthesizer and a bass micro synthesizer
Okay.
All right.
Holy moly.
by Electro-Harmonix.
All right. That's a new one for us.
I'm sure you guys know it.
Well,
Maybe it's my accent.
no.
You guys don't know what I'm talking about, right?
No, I mean, Electro-Harmonix makes lots of pedals.
They
That's
certainly
just one
do. And that's one that I'm not aware of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we are now enlightened.
Yes. All right. What do you have for number 3?
Pedals and vacuum tubes. Number 3 is the DoD FX25B envelope filter, which I really like on bass. For a while, I was really into funk, and I used to search for pedals, that do all sorts of quacky things. Mm-hmm. And but this one is actually really phenomenal, I think, not only because of the awesome filter it has, but also because when you set the sensitivity precisely, you can almost use it as a low-pass filter, which is sensitive to your touch, and it just gives like a very interesting and dynamic low end in a certain type of playing. That I remember that was a lot of fun for me.
All right.
And then the 4th one is the Eventide pitch factor.
Oh,
you know that
boy,
one?
That one's, I feel like that's going to get really, really complicated.
Yeah, that one is a whole universe. It's just crazy. It's hard to even call it a pedal. This thing. So this is a harmonizer essentially, and it offers a bunch of really interesting and intricate ways to add notes and below and up and any interval. I think up to 2 octaves above, or in some sounds even 3, maybe. I'm not sure. And a bunch of detune effects and chorus and stereo split with the different tuning on each side to create a sort of a stereo image. And it's just, it's so much fun to play with. A lot of very interesting and mind-blowing possibilities, especially thinking about bass. If you split the bass, like I used to do, and you have sort of a low, a healthy low, or even an octave lower low, and then you have a bunch of pedals going through one line, giving a lot of distortion, and then you have this thing, for example, adding harmonies and additional notes on top of what you're doing. You can really create very elaborate sounds and textures that I don't think any other pedal really does. There's a bunch of harmonizing pedals, like the pitchfork or the whammy with all its derivatives. But this one is really, I guess, a few levels above.
That sounds cool.
At least above anything that I know. Maybe there's many things that I don't.
We were checking your Instagram out, and you've got some great clips of you playing the bass, and you have a really cool style. Actually, I like the way that you actually play bass, and the sounds that you're getting out of it is very, very interesting, and not interesting in the kind of like, oh, that's an interesting painting like that you would never hang in your living room, but just like it's actually like cool. It's fun to listen to, you know.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I at some point I was never into pedals, honestly. Like I used to be a bassist to just plugs and play. Really, just because not because of ideology, just I wasn't interested at all. And then at some point, with this concept of the drum and bass band that I did with my wife, suddenly I took all my pedals out, and then my entire playing shifted towards almost playing pedals rather than playing the bass. Because it was suddenly more important to create a sonic world that is bigger than just the bass. It wasn't so much about just playing bass anymore.
Yeah. And now you've got what we call a bit of a problem.
What?
With the
what
pedals.
Problem?
It's a
Now, that's number 3.
Wait.
Number 4.
No,
see, I was doing what I did on the last episode. Yeah. Okay, so yes, number 4. That is fantastic. 4 on the floor. Thank you for sharing those with us. And those are like new ones. Like I think across the board, we haven't had any of those on 4 on the floor previously.
No.
Yeah, well done.
Well, we don't have a lot of bass players that.
No, we don't.
That's right.
So
And bass players are also not big on pedals many times.
Typically, because most guitar pedals don't play well with bass.
yeah,
But these sounds like you've got a solid 4 that do.
yeah.
Oh, Jay
I
was
mean-
a bass player. That was a knob many moons ago when
Yeah,
we
that's
first
true.
started.
That's true.
Shout out to him.
Yeah, if you want inspiration on how to get some pretty amazing sounds out of a bass that don't sound, I'm going to say this with all respect to bass players, that doesn't sound ridiculous, because sometimes just like pedals that do things can sound somewhat ridiculous if you're just making just racket with it, right? But I think Ariel, what you're doing with that is pretty inspirational, actually.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, man.
Okay, so you make, I'm not really a pedal guy. Now you make pedals.
Yeah.
That's not the first time we've heard that on this show. So
It's not surprising.
yeah. And not only do you make pedals, but I think you make some really engaging pedals. They're very, you can tell there's a joy behind what you're doing. The types of pedals you're doing, the types of sounds that you're creating. And then if somebody checks you out and you're like, oh, he's got a striped shirt and red pants and a mohawk sitting on a sofa with a bass, this is going to be fun. So you sent us Tony, read it. It's the Stone Bender.
Stone blender.
Blender.
With
The
an
Stone
L.
Blender.
Solderless.
Was a silent L.
He has trouble with
Blend
L.
stones.
Yeah. And this is it's a variable diode selector, like a rotary selector. You can select 4 different diodes on it for a fuzz. This is mighty cool. We all got to play with it and got loads of different tones out of it. We're all playing on different gear, so we had very different experiences.
Oh, that's cool.
It's like an all-in-one. It's awesome.
It really is. There's not too many fuzz tones you can't get out of that. That's for sure.
That's cool. I'm glad to hear.
Yeah. So with that setup, and if you get a chance, go check. Where can they find your website, by the way? What's your website?
The website is rednoisepedals.com,
Perfect.
I guess.
Rednoisepedals.com. Go check those out, and so you can get a visual. And okay, how does somebody who doesn't use pedals start making pedals?
Well, I mean, first of all, I used a lot of pedals.
Yeah, but previously,
Previously, I didn't, but then I started the band
yes.
with my wife. We started it in Israel just before we were leaving to New York.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't add any musicians because we were flying by ourselves, and we saw no point in that. And we thought maybe if we want to add musicians, we'll do it in New York. So we just started playing by ourselves and jamming together. And she writes songs, and I was just jamming with. And in that context of just a bass and the drum set, you suddenly, the ability to change from clean bass to bass with fuzz becomes very useful, because you just double the amount of things you can do. So that's how my fascination with pedals started. And then, very rapidly I realized that this is the way to do it. I need a way to create these textures to fill up the sonic space, because otherwise it's just a stupid bass and drums, and it doesn't necessarily sound that great.
That's one way to put it.
Yeah, I guess. And you can say it about everything too, like anything.
Yeah.
Well, never mind. Let's not be all philosophical. But and so and after that, we did this for 10 years, and it got really crazy, like to the point where I split my bass signal to 4. Each one of the 4 signals got a different treatment from different pedals, and I would send the 4 channels to the mixer and to 4 amps, and it just got totally nuts. And so I really got to research the pedals as a player. It's not like I'm not interested in pedals. I'm extremely interested in pedals. And not only that, I'm extremely interested in when I was doing all these things with all these pedals. So suddenly you find out that some pedal in a certain configuration, although it sounds incredible by itself, it's just completely useless within this setup. Mm-hmm. So there were certain pedals that were so functional in this setup, like the Sola Sound Tone Bender, which just killed it. And there was no song I didn't push on that thing. It was incredible. And so I'm really interested in that sort of, how some pedals just have this efficiency to them when you play with them in a band or in a certain musical context. Yeah. And that's why what I really am looking for. I guess I don't know where we started this question. I feel like I've been blabbering for 15 minutes.
No, it's all part of the game, my man.
All right. Okay.
That's what we like.
Yeah. No, that's great. It's a great background. Do you have an electronic background?
No.
Okay.
My parents sent me to this after school thing when I was maybe 8. Mm-hmm. And I like an electronics. I think we did like a thing with the LEDs and a sequence. I'm gonna guess it was a CD4017 sequencer with a certain switch. I don't know. Yeah. I didn't even know what was going on. I didn't know nothing. I wasn't interested. I was an awkward, uncomfortable kid. I enjoyed soldering, and that's all I got from that. And then at some point, as sort of a recreational thing, I looked into making a fuzz pedal, into making a fuzz face. And then before I knew what was happening, I was like, the whole breadboard was full of stuff and knobs. And every time I switched to something, every time you touch something, it does something a little different. And I realized that it's a universe that's as ample as music or any type of art form, because there are so many variables and so many ways to manipulate this, that you can spend really your entire life just exploring it. It's like an amusement park, if you will.
That is one of the best quotes about musical instruments that I think I've ever heard. Sorry for the awkward interruption.
No. And so and that's how I found myself. And I'm when I constantly try to study and learn. There's a lot to learn. Obviously, this is a big world of knowledge. And so, I'm really a very basic. I have very basic electronics skills, and every time I work on something, I learn more stuff. That's so it goes, I guess, for everyone.
Sure. What was the first pedal that you? Well, you said it was a fuzz, but when you first made this, not just hobby, what was the first pedal that you put out under Red Noise?
Actually, before that, I called the company Epic Pedals.
Okay.
So I made a bunch of these stone blenders under Epic Pedals, and I used to sell them in our shows as
That's
part
a
of the
smart way
merch
to do
table.
it. Hey, buy the thing that just made the noise you heard.
And yeah, and I play it so they know how it sounds.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Perfect.
So each of these, you have one of the most intriguing things about the pedals that you're making is, the appearance of them, the artwork you have on them, and the color choices, and the mishmash of knobs and everything. Can you tell us about your approach on that?
Look, when it comes, like I have some artistical sides which are strong. Like I don't know, like I did sculpture and I was okay at that. And then drawing is just my worst. Like I'm horrible at it, and I'm just trying to survive with it. You know what I mean? I have no idea. I'm just writing it as it comes out so
Nice.
fucked up, and I guess that's the. That's the appeal of it, that it's
Nice.
tough, but I really don't know how to do it. That's how I approach it. I try to survive. I try to not erase it too many times. Like we don't now I'm moving into a new phase. I'm
Don't erase it too many times. That's fantastic.
I'm telling you, these pedals, I write volume and it comes out crooked. So I erase it, I write it again. I erase it, write it again. I mean, sometimes 10 times. I'm that bad at it.
But that's the irony is like that's what makes these beautiful, like legitimate. Like everybody that I've shown is like, wow, I love that, because it's not pretentious. It's not trying to make you think of some other kind of like otherworldly thing that you're going to take them on a trip to or whatever. It's just it's hard to explain, but you also have the multicolor. There's a lot of color involved. You like color. You're a color
Right,
guy.
I love color.
Yeah.
Love it.
And that comes through. I mean, we're looking at one. It's got yellow, red, blue, green, aqua, white knob, black knob, red chicken head knobs. I mean, it's all over the place, but it doesn't look like a mess. Somehow there's this really kind of beautiful harmony going on here. I'm a fan of this.
I mean, yeah, I'm trying to make it beautiful, as beautiful as I can.
Yeah.
There's art to it.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at all these boutique pedal companies and all these people building, and they make such beautiful things, they're literally works of art.
Yeah. Yep. But like you said, it's a big, giant, whatever you said, universe thing. I've already lost it. It was so good, I lost it.
Well, luckily, I hope you recorded it, because I forgot it too. I have no idea what I said.
But yeah, there's room for everybody, and that's what's so exciting to me. Like the minute I saw that I found you on Instagram, like I DM'd you immediately. I didn't even hesitate, because I get so excited when I see something new. For the most part, everybody's just sort of offering their take on something or trying to create a tone. So anytime that there is a more distinct, what we call fingerprint out there, whether it's the aesthetic or the sound or who knows what else, your brand or whatever, it's very exciting for us to find that. So,
Well,
thanks.
I mean, it's a very big compliment.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And it came in a nice little kitty sleeping bag with cats on it.
Yeah.
I like the cat bag.
Pretty funny fella. So this fuzz, you're a fan of the fuzz. I need you to sort of demystify the D clip here for us. So folks out there listening, folks. I'm pretty sure most of our listeners have never been called a folk or folks. That's kind of I don't know. Anyways, on the Stone blender, you've got the diode switch with 4 separate diodes. And can you kind of tell us about those diodes and what was your inspiration for those?
So in this circuit, which is very similar to a big muff, really. Listen, first of all, I'm not sure I'm going to do a great explanation about why this works this way. It's just how it sounds to me that it works. It sounds to me like there's a lot of amplification from the transistors, and then the actual fuzz sound comes from the clipping, from the diode clipping section of the circuit.
Yeah.
So when I was tweaking with the circuit and playing with it, it seemed like that was the point that made the most difference to the sound. And I realized that maybe that's like the magic point here, or the place to explore and to add to. And so I played with a bunch of diodes, and obviously they were all a little different. And but when I compared it to my Solar Sound Tone Bender, I felt like it was lacking body and sort of that thing that bites through the mix or make your. I think as a bassist, so that sort of keeps your bass sort of in there rather than just sort of get diluted fuzzily into the general noise.
Yes.
So I played with I was reading a blog, I think the AMZ blog, and they speak about diode clipping. They have a page about the diode clipping techniques. And one of the ideas there was to add a resistance in front of the diodes to reduce the amount of clipping. And so when I did that, suddenly it almost sounds like you get more of the amplified signal. It's not clean, it's distorted, but you actually get a more structured signal, and you sort of get more mids, and something happens there, which is very efficient. And when I did that, it felt to me like I got close to my Solar Sound Tone Bender, which is my, I guess, inspiration.
Gotcha.
And so that's what happened there, I guess.
It is very interesting to play with, especially, you can set the declip at a specific place, and then if you switch the diode, well, that's a whole different sound, and you're gonna probably want to move the declip around on that and find what works for you. Yeah, I found this to be very interesting, especially trying to dial in, like hearing the differences and imagining, if you're playing at home by yourself, you're going to get all kinds of different sounds, obviously, but I'm also trying to imagine, well, what would this sound like in my band? How would this declip or this particular diode work well in the actual band scenario? Because as a guitar player, I don't want to, as you said, get lost in the ether, and that's kind of a problem when you're using fuzz, if you're not doing sort of single note stuff.
Right. It's always the problem with fuzz pedals now that they get a little washed out.
Yeah.
Many times. And weirdly, a lot of them don't have such an elaborate tone control or a filtering control. So a lot of times, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And you try to, you raise the volume and everybody starts getting deaf. And
yeah. And then they still can't hear you.
Right, exactly.
So you're a fan of fuzz, but some of the other things that you're a fan of, you have also built some pedals for. Can you tell us about those?
Well, actually, the Stone Bender is really the only pedal that I'm selling so far. I just released the first one after the Stone Bender, which is the Switch Glitch.
Yes.
Which is
with a happy smile on it.
Right. It's a little too happy even. A little
maniacal.
Yeah. So and that's, it's the basic idea of a 2-loop switcher where you can route your guitar to one effect loop or to the other or to both of them in series, and sort of play with that idea. But obviously that idea, I feel, is also very easy. As a mechanical thing, it's very easy. All you need is 2 switches to do that. Mm-hmm. But it's also problematic because, I feel like I guess I wanted to add something of my own to this. So I figured the first thing I should do is to try and make the switching as silent as I can.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really got into everything that has to do with driving relays and how to drive them in the most silent way, so that you have the least amount of mechanical bounce when they open and shut and close. And so that's the first thing I think is
that's pretty
different in this pedal as in comparison with other similar pedals, is that the switching is really silent.
Yeah.
I mean, a silent, it's never completely silent. But you know what I mean? Like you hit you have one loop that has a long delay on it, and you're playing a show or recording, and then you hit the button and you have some pop, returning for 16 seconds or something.
Yeah.
It's no fun.
No, but
so I thought that would be a cool thing to do.
Yeah, I like that. I like that the thought that you put into that. It wasn't just merely a specific switch that's going to do that. You're thinking about actually what's causing that thing, not just an easy solution would be.
Right. I mean, you can do. There is an easy solution for one of the situations and for the other situations, but I don't think there's a pedal that does both of them.
Right.
Because it has two functionalities. One of them I call OR and the other one END.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're in the END mode, it works like the switcher that most people know, where you turn on loop A or loop B independently, and you can have both of them or none of them or one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the OR mode, you can toggle between the two with one hit of the switch.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
And I find that really cool, especially for like in again, because when I played with my band, I would be the only source of sound coming out, and then I would create these really crazy textures, and I would try to create different textures for the choruses and for the verses, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So they would involve stomping 4 or 5 pedals sometimes. And then, and it's cool in a show, because you sort of make it work and whatever. But in the studio, it was always problematic. Because when you hit those 4 pedals, I mean, you hear them, you hear the pops, you hear the movement, your playing is not necessarily steady. It just becomes it's an additional challenge. And then I figured this would be really helpful in that situation, for example.
That is pretty smart.
And also on top of that, because you have this mode, you can also, for example, use it as a simple A/B switch. Because with one hit of the button, you flip between. So you can send to 2 amps or to 2 channels, or have 2 guitars going into 1 amp.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I feel like that's pretty useful, or it would have been useful for me.
Yeah, this sounds like a super useful pedal. It's amazing how limited some of those utility pedals can actually be. So I appreciate that you're putting extra thought into what can this, somewhat simple utility pedal do for me in a more dynamic way.
Yeah, and I mean, and I, it is I know this is a very simple pedal. I'm sort of doing this. I'm constantly working on a bunch of new stuff. Obviously, as I said, this is a new world for me. I mean, I've been in this for maybe a year and a half or 2 years, and some of these, it takes a long time to develop these things. Not only the circuit, but also the, how to build them, the enclosure, the PCB. It's insane. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of work. I'm working now. I've just finished today a pedal that I've been working on for like 8 months, and I'm feeling like it's ready to go. So I'm sort of doing this switch, in between a bunch of other projects that I'm working on, because I don't want to be to linger too long without releasing anything new. I know that it's a weird choice to release a switch as a second pedal, but I don't know. I don't give a shit anyway. Sorry, I don't give. I don't care at all.
That's all right.
So, can you tell us about some of the other things that you are working on without giving too much away? I suppose.
Yeah, I'm working. For some bizarre reason, I'm being attracted to the only pedal I've never, used live, which is a tremolo. I mean, barely used it. And I've been working on 2 types of tremolos. One of them more towards the harmonic tremolo.
Can you elaborate on what, when people see tremolo and then they see harmonic tremolo, can you just elaborate a little bit on that?
I think if I might be wrong about this, but I think harmonic tremolo refers to a tremolo that modulates frequency and not only volume. While a regular tremolo, I guess, modulates the volume or shuts down the volume.
Right.
And essentially does that. So one of them sort of goes there, and I'm exploring a bunch of possibilities there. And then another one is a combination of the Stone Blender and the very pronounced tremolo, which is called the Vox Repeater. I don't know if you've heard about that one.
Vox Repeater? No, I don't know that I have.
It's like it's one of those effects that used to plug straight into your guitar, and then you plug the cable into the.
I like that Dan Armstrong plug-in pedal.
Inline pedal.
It's similar to those, yeah. And it's just like a sort of it's pretty brutal sounding, very sort of square wave-ish. Mm-hmm. And but it has a distinct sound that I like, and it's very almost metallic. So in high speed, it sounds a little bit like a ring modulator. And so another interesting circuit that I feel is interesting to combine with fuzz. And then what else am I working on? I actually have an idea which I'm trying to patent.
Oh.
Ooh.
Tell us all about it.
Tell us everything, every little detail.
And send the schematics.
That's right. We'll keep it a big secret.
You can trust us.
Yep.
So and that's like super. I mean, I guess that's more of a kick, a personal kick.
Yeah.
I'd like to die a man with a patent.
I'm glad you finished that sentence.
Right.
Okay, so you got a lot of things going on. You're sort of fresh into the scene. You've got this thing going on, this pedal that you've sent us. How is this working out for you from do you feel like you are developing a brand, or does it feel like I have a pedal in the world and I hope people like it?
I guess it's a little bit of both. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a business person, essentially. So it's hard for me to say, I'm going to start a company and I'm going to succeed and blah, 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 blah. Like I'm doing, first of all, I cannot do music. I cannot tour anymore because I have 2 wonderful girls. And so I guess what this really is for me is the continuation of my musical life and my artistical life.
I like that.
At least that's the place that it feels, the essential place it feels for me.
Very cool.
And then of course, like anyone who makes anything, you want people to enjoy it. There's nothing makes me more happy now than hear that someone's enjoying my pedal. I mean, it's the best kick ever.
That's cool.
It's like playing a great show and then having people be happy about your show. It's the same type of satisfaction.
Yeah.
Maybe less adrenaline and sweat, but a different type of adrenaline and sweat. And then, like same as musicians are, I'd like to obviously take this and position myself in life in a place where I can do these creative things and, do less things that I don't have such a passion for. Mm-hmm. So I guess it's a little bit of both, you know what I mean? I'm motivated in both on both levels. Mm-hmm. But my essential orientation is not the business one.
Right. How has it been sort of getting into the pedal community? I know that it's a relatively tight community. I can imagine when you say, all right, I'm going to do this thing. Hello, world. Here's my contribution. And you're entranced into a single door into a room that has 10,000 people building pedals. How does that feel to you?
It's like, I guess it's like being in a band, and then opening the door and seeing that you're not the only band in town. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I did that. Like, I came from Israel, where I was, it's a little easier, I guess. Mm-hmm. There's not as many bands, and I landed in New York. There's a lot of bands in the room, man.
Yeah.
You know what I know this is what's happening, and there's so many people doing such amazing things. And I mean, what is there to do? Get inspired, look around, enjoy the view, and everybody does what they like doing. I guess.
I like that. I like this. I like you.
Thanks.
Cool, man. Well, we're really looking forward to other things that you're going to be coming up with, because this is a really tasty treat here, this stone blender. And it just makes you kind of happy just looking at it. I had it sitting on top of my amp, and I wasn't even playing it, and I just kept looking at it. It just makes me happy. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to mosey on down the road with Big Jared.
And I'm going to sing the Would You Rather jingle. And that was it.
Go ahead. Oh, there we are.
This week's Would You Rather. And by the way, this one's from Kevin from Shoneswood.
Yeah.
And he makes really awesome boxes and stuff out of whatever wood. It's sweet.
Pedals.
Anything.
Skateboard.
Yeah.
So,
Up in Canada, eh?
Hey.
he had a really cool idea. I don't know. It's kind of, it makes you think.
Yeah.
So as a builder, or a creator, or however you want to say, would you rather as a builder only be able to use what you create / build forever, or never play what you build / create ever again?
Okay. So I'm following.
Yeah. It's either one or the other.
You can build great things, but you can only use other people's stuff. Or you can only use the stuff you build.
It's one or the other. That's it.
Now, and from a builder. So all of us people who aren't builders out there of things, imagine for a moment that we are. Imagine that we build the super tasty pedals like this stone blender right here. Okay? And we've created an epic line of things, whether it's pedals or guitars or whatever. Use your imagination. Okay. Tony.
So, there are a number of guitars that I've built to my personal specs that they're perfect for me.
Because you have really short arms. I'm just kidding.
Very
It's like
tiny.
a T-Rex.
But no, I think just off the top of my head, I think I'm going to go with you can only play or use the things that you create. Because generally, at least in my case, and I think with a lot of builders, is they're making things that are specifically in their heads, or the sound that they're looking for, or the way in the case of a guitar, how it plays, the components of that thing. And I think for a lot of builders, it's perfect for them.
That's true.
So I think that's the direction I'm going with. It would be cool to be able to do the play.
You can't. No.
All right, I'm going with that
All
one.
right. Jared,
Let's say I'm a guitar player
you're a guitar player.
and a guitar builder.
That's insulting to both guitar players and builders.
I am really one of those things.
Okay, go ahead.
So
just
I'm
kidding,
gonna
Jared.
I'm gonna imagine instead of a pickup guy, because it would be really easy to say I could use my own pickups forever. But as a guitar player or builder, I'm sorry. I think I would still not ever be able to play mine. I think I would want to play other brands.
So you'd never be able to play the things that you
But
build.
right, I think it's worth it because you get to play all these the guitars that other people just as creative myself or even more creative make. So I have
Yeah.
more of a choice.
I like that.
Yeah, I think I see that as a viable option.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'll go with that
Well,
one.
it's the
for
only
that.
other option, so it's going to have to be viable. Ariel, how about yourself?
I think I'm totally happy just getting to the point where they're ready and then letting them go. I don't need to play them
play
ever
other
again
people's.
afterwards.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm just so inspired by
Todd, what about you?
the people's. Got
him.
Thank you for asking, Tony. I'm so inspired by what other people create in the music. I mean, that's why we do the podcast. So, I'm for sure going with like anything I build, which would be awesome. Duh. I'm not going to. I want everybody else's incarnations.
Okay.
That's what I want. I want it all.
So it's 3 against 1. 3 against 1, huh?
Yep,
That's
pretty
what you
much.
guys want to play it?
That's what we're doing.
Sorry, man.
Yeah, thank you, Kevin, for sending that very good Would You Rather. I mean, that was...
I had to scratch my head.
yeah, that was a little bit of a head scratcher. Made you think.
Kevin's one of those guys that you would say, yeah, I want to be able to get his stuff.
Yep, that's true.
So-
That is true. All right.
I wonder what Kevin would do.
Check him out at Shoneswood. He's been on the show.
I
It's
know.
a great show.
I wonder what
episode.
his answer to this. Kevin, if you're out there,
Answer
let
us.
us know. What
I
is your...
suspect I know what it is. I suspect he's with the rest of us, not with you, Tony. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have got to do just a couple quick things real quick. Ariel, where can people find your wares?
They can go to Red Noise Pedals or the usual Instagram.
Perfect.
The Facebook, which is slowly becoming, I don't know what it's becoming. I don't think too many people go to Facebook anymore, no?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you're kind of right.
Older folks still
We
do.
we
think
get a
it-
lot of folks.
I want to see
Hey, I'm older too. I'm 40.
There's still quite a bit of action on our Guitar Knobs group. Which, hey, if you're on there, go check it out and chime in and stuff.
I'm still on it.
Yeah, we all are.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Go to Red Noise Pedals, also on Instagram. Tony, we're going, before we get into where we can get our stuff,
Yes.
we got to thank a couple people.
We got to think a large group of people and a growing group
Group of people, yes.
At this point in the show, we like to thank our executive producers.
How do you become one?
I was just thinking the same thing.
That's right.
You know what I would do? I'd go to patreon.com/the Guitar Knobs, and you can find out at all the different levels in which you can participate. But at each level, there's different swag levels.
Yep.
We'll call them that.
Yep.
You got T-shirts, there's barefoot buttons, there's stickers, there's picks, there's
Keychains.
All kinds
and
of swaggy
keychains.
stuff. Keychains
And you know, when you become an executive producer,
from loads of builders that we've had on the show. This
Yeah.
isn't just our stuff that we're
No.
sending. It's like so many people that have been on the show have said, "Here, put this in your Patreon package."
yeah. Well, anyhow, what about the giveaways?
Yeah, we're doing lots of giveaways.
We do a lot of giveaways
We're
to our patrons.
We got with these with the barefoot
buttons.
We're giving away, I think, about 5 or 6 pedals upcoming soon-ish.
But in addition to all of that great stuff, as an executive producer, Jared, what happens?
You get to have your name read on the thing,
And
man.
that's what I'm going to do right now.
Good.
So without further ado, let's start with our newest, Tommy Manesco.
All right,
All right,
Tommy.
welcome, Tommy.
Welcome on board. David Kaminga.
Welcome again in a different way.
In
David.
a different way.
Great dude.
How about Tyg Harmon?
Yep.
How about Michael Senchuk?
All the yeps. I'm gonna. You don't want me to say yep to everybody. Everybody gets a yep.
Everybody gets an
Ahead of
implied yep.
Yeah.
John Esterly. We know John. John Anglin. Ken Sayers. Sean. Anthony Lanthrop. Johnny Knowles. Stefan Lam. Jonathan Daly. Michael Van Zant. Tom Brazen. Tyler Bray. Chris Kearney. Doug Gann. Tim Nowak. Doug Christ. Brian Robison. Jonathan Jerusik. Darren Gregory and Corey Negro.
Yeah.
The carpenter from Boston.
Yes, sir.
Thank
Yes,
you
sir.
to each and every one of you. If I didn't read your name and you're a patron, I'm thanking you too.
That's right.
I just
Awesome.
didn't read your name.
I appreciate that.
Todd,
You saying that?
do you? Do you
Anyways,
really?
I do.
Me
Tony,
too.
where can people find you?
Sure. Say you need a special pick guard or you're doing something different, changing out pickups. You're doing whatever. you go over to pickguardian.com. Check out some of the stuff that I have available online there. I can do just about anything. If you need something special, contact me through the email link there. If you want to see some of the projects we talk about from time to time, go over to Instagram. And it's hashtag pickguardian and the number 1.
Perfect. Jared?
Well, if you need some pickups, custom built, or just check the website out, brandonwoundpickups.com, and purchase one of the sets that are there. Just give me an email if you need any help with anything, any questions. I'm on Instagram and Facebook. Look me up.
Right on, right on.
Todd, how about you?
You can send me an email, todd@theguitarknobs.com. You can also DM me on Instagram, that @guitarknobs. And we just want to hear from you. It's not that we just want to hear from you. We want to hear from you, but we also want you to be active as much as you can in the guitar community and directly with us. We appreciate it. Humongous thanks to our friend Ariel from Red Noise Pedals. Please be sure to go check him out and on Instagram and on the website. Ariel, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you guys so much for inviting me.
And the best of luck to your growing pedal endeavor and to the newborn that you have. That's fantastic news too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So without further ado, and be sure to go check out those barefoot buttons, people. Go get those. They're good things. We're going to give them away if you are a Patreon patron.
That's right.
So in the meantime, have a fantastic guitar week and subscribe.
Yeah.
Cows freak me out because the
Don't
hip
listen to what I
bones are
have to
going
say.
it looks like Sherbavos. I don't know how they operate.
I have the microphone stuck on my neck with blue tape, with painter's tape.
Which means that they must be really bony when they're bony. Sherbakowski.
Okay.
And they can't fit in an elevator.
Sherbakovsky.
They can't walk backwards downstairs either.
It's confusing. I'm as confused as you.
So you got to push them out the window.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Well, that's it for these knobs. Please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/theguitarknobs. Visit our website at theguitarknobs.com for all of our past episodes, 4 on the Floor blog, and other good stuff. You can connect with us on social too at our Facebook page and share your gear and stories on our Facebook group. Also, be sure to check out our Instagram at guitarknobs. Catch you next time.